Our first trip is going to take us here to Qimei Island. Throughout Penghu, there are still over 500 of these stone weirs in existence. So this used to be a very, very common way to catch fish here. It's been a long time since I've been on the boat, and I've just come back to Sindagang. We're gonna take the boat to Cijin to have it cleaned in preparation to going to Penghu. I just inspected the boat. There was a very large typhoon that hit Jiayi Budai, and it also hit this part of the harbor quite hard. And you can see that on our boat, we did sustain some damage. The rubber trim is completely missing, so we're gonna have to get that fixed. We have to move now because there's another typhoon coming. So that's the other reason we're doing that today. Stay tuned, we got a lot coming. Penghu's coming up, it's gonna be fantastic. We're back in Cijin after many weeks to go take a look at the fishing boat. And in the meantime, we've had a bunch of typhoons come through, especially the last one was a direct hit on Kaohsiung here and on Cijin, and the boat is okay. 明腾哥，谢谢你那么帮我们看船。不客气啊，不客气。真的没有你，我晚上没办法。He's very polite, you can see. He's saying everyone helps each other, which is true of the fishing culture here. We all help each other, and that's one of the wonderful things about Taiwan. I got one more very exciting piece of news. Our boat has graduated. It has become a CT2. 那你觉得那个 CT2 我们请人做或者自己有去就可以？自己做就可以了啦。好。We're back in Cijin Fishing Harbor, one of my favorite places to be. We've just undergone another typhoon and survived it. I gotta thank Guo Lijiang for taking care of my boat. He always does that when I park here, makes me feel very safe. I have a real adventure in store for you. We've already done all the fishing harbors in Taiwan, and we've been to Penghu before, as you know, many times. But Penghu has 67 harbors. It consists of 90 islands. So today, we're going back to Penghu, and I got my little chart here you can see. This is the group of islands of Penghu. Our first trip is going to take us here to Qimei Island. We're right now down here in Kaohsiung. We're going to head up to Penghu here. That's this group of islands. The weather looks good. It's hot though, and I hope the sea isn't too rough because the typhoon just passed a few days ago. Let's get underway. This is going to be a great trip. We're going to explore some of those harbors we haven't had a chance to explore yet in Penghu, and we're going to learn more about this very fascinating place and historical. So I'm just taking on some diesel fuel. Diesel fuel in Taiwan for fishing boats has a government subsidy to it. So you always got to pay attention, and they keep track of how many kilometers or how many nautical miles you sail to make sure that you only fill up the amount that you use. Otherwise, people might maybe some of them do dishonest things like sell the diesel fuel. So I'm filling up now. I'm taking on a little bit to go to Penghu. We should have more than enough, but safety first, right? You don't want to get stranded at sea. And I have to say, this is one of the most expensive parts of this show, always fueling up the boat. costs a lot of money in gas to run this baby. She's got a 405 horsepower engine and can be very thirsty. 好，谢谢。上面有问题。电不够。18, something's wrong.
没电了，加个油而已，回来没电了。人家现在我们拖进去，还好这里有支棚固有的来帮我们嘛，拿船拖回去。
So we just left Kaohsiung Harbor and the water conditions are great. It's about half a meter to a meter chop. We're going to be going around 13 knots, so pretty good speed. We should arrive around 7:30, so about 3 hours. As you know, we got a late start today, and the reason was that the battery of the boat was dead and we couldn't start it up right after we refueled. It was my fault. I forgot to fill water into the battery. We've done that now, and it seems to be charging, but I won't know until tomorrow morning if we need new batteries. I hope we don't. Something you always got to realize on a boat is always a lot of maintenance, and if those batteries are not working anymore, it's going to be a very expensive mistake. But anyway, we're underway. I'm looking forward to heading to Qimei. So let's carry on with the voyage. I'm going to add a little speed so we get there faster. All right? 我们要看看谁先到了，
应该是我们先到，谁先到就要让谁，对不对？
他应该让我，但他是比较大。
哇，他开得比我们快。
对啊，他开得很快。
What a beautiful sunset. We're about 2 hours outside of Qimei, which is the most southerly island of Penghu. That's our destination. Things have slowed down a bit because of the ocean currents. We're now only doing about 11 something knots, so the estimated time of arrival is around 8 o'clock at night. The name Qimei means 7 beauties, and I'll show you why, but also there's a story to it, and we'll talk about that later. In the meantime, let's keep going on our route and look at this beautiful sunset. This is something you only get from the ocean, and I'm so happy to show it to you. It's a little after 5 in the morning, and other than for fishing, I don't usually like to get up this early. But I wanted to show you the beautiful sunrise. We're here at a famous site in Qimei Island. It is the site of the Twin Heart Weir, but it is also the site of a small fishing harbor. There is a reason that Penghu has so many fishing harbors. It is because every little community on these 90 islands had their own little fishing harbor. The fishing harbor down here isn't a harbor per se. It is just a safe haven that people could dock their boats overnight. I wanted to give you a bit of history of how this little fishing harbor and the Stone Weir was built. It goes back to 1937 and perhaps even before that. This gentleman, Yang Guang, built this stone weir in 1937. It was originally a single heart structure, and he later built 2 hearts to make sure that the fish were more trapped inside. Throughout Penghu, there are still over 500 of these stone weirs in existence. So this used to be a very, very common way to catch fish here, and each little community would build their own. If you look down here, you can see the small harbor and the wave break that was built to protect the stone weir, and you can also just see the stone weir appearing here. We're going to come back a little bit later when it's fully exposed, but you get the idea. Right now it's high tide, the fish swim in, they get trapped when the tide goes down, and people harvest them. Just a few years ago, within the last 10 years, there was a harvest in this stone weir of close to 900 fish. And in that time, because these are no longer owned by an individual, the whole community of Qimei came out to catch the fish and help to harvest the fish. And I think people were very surprised that this very traditional structure can still catch so many fish. This is another must-see item on the island of Qimei, this rock structure called Little Taiwan behind me. It really looks like the island of Taiwan. It's formed with basalt, sandstone, coral, as are all these islands, due to their volcanic nature. You can see behind me as well, the cliff is very typical of that structure. As you tour Penghu, always keep in mind how it was formed so many years ago, and you can really see some beautiful rock formations. When we go back on the ocean, you'll also see more rock outcroppings, and it is what gives Qimei and the islands here such a beautiful character. So I definitely have to introduce this harbor. This is Nanhu Harbor. It is the only harbor in Qimei that has a Coast Guard station. In fact, it's the only harbor that if you want to get here, your boat will come in here and take you to the different sites here. Nanhu Harbor is a Class 2 harbor. It's both a fishing harbor and a transportation harbor. It's quite large. It was originally built in the Japanese occupation period, but more substantially, it was built up in 1980 all the way to 2011, and that's what you have here, quite a large and beautiful harbor. One of the other fun things to do if you get up early is come back to the harbor to Nanhu Gang and check out what kind of fresh fish is on offer. Today, 2 boats came in. They have some baidayu and some sardines, and they also caught some squid. Every day is a different catch. You never know what you're gonna get. Oh, ni kan. The other thing I got to tell you, I was just reminded because the boat came in here, you can see the beautiful fish. Just outside this harbor, in the 4 South Islands, there's a fishing field. There are a bunch of areas to catch fish, and that's why even boats from other parts of Taiwan will come here to catch fish. Wow, 很漂亮. So while the commercial fishing boats only got baidayu and some squid, this boat, which takes people out to fish, they actually got some really beautiful looking fish. Look at these, they are fantastic, especially this one. This is such a lovely looking fish. It's low tide now, and we've come back to this quintessential symbol of Qimei, or even Penghu. You can see the Twin Heart Weir right below me, and it's very, very clear. Also clear is the little inlet I talked about that leads to the small harbor where people used to unload the fish by. If you look at the weir, you can notice how well it is made. All those rocks fit together like a jigsaw puzzle, and that has made it last through successive typhoons so that people have been able to harvest fish here for so many years.